but it feels dim outside. Like the light's not coming through all the way, almost like there's shaded window, right?
Yeah,
like that kind of thing. It feels like something's preventing the light from coming in, almost like emotionally or viscerally or whatever.
I love it. Yeah, roll plus dark.
Okay.
And what do you want to know?
I want to know where that fear is coming from. Like, I want to see what this thing is, right?
Yeah.
That's 6 plus dark. I don't think dark is a good stat for me. Oh, no, it is. It's a 1. Okay, so 7.
The abyss shows you confusing and alarming visions, but you get your answer nonetheless. I'm going to give you your answer in a moment. I'm going to cut away for a sec, but before you go, I love how you've described it. Like the sun should be shining through, but your basic sort of emotional darkness squelches the sun, right? I kind of like that, right? It's almost like you are peeling away the veil of goodness and light to show the darkness beyond, right? I'm really into that. And I have an answer. I'm going to give it to you in a minute. So cutting back to the main room, Julia, you see Adam is freaking out a little bit. You see that Addie is like trying to console Adam a little bit. What do you do?
Paul is in a very vulnerable position, I would say. Like what I have observed, like he's very, very weak, I could even say at the moment.
Yeah, he's not in there. He's not in there right now, but yeah, he is. Yeah.
So my main ambition, like, because I know how the situation, how it looks like, would be to catch him alone, to go out for a smoke with him. That's my main goal. If he's not available at the moment, then I could also imagine taking a second look at Zach at the moment, and following the others into whatever they are doing, because he has turned me on.
Yeah.
But Fall would be my main target.
To be clear, Adam is your treasure, right?
Adam is my treasure, yes. Okay. But to get my treasure, I need to work around it a little bit. So I first need to get proper control about this.
Yeah, so you just want to follow Fall out there then?
If I can get a hand on Fall still. Yes,
Shay's with him. Yes. You might have to get Shay out of the picture, but yeah. but you can go out there.
There are ways to freak people out enough that they go away from me.
Let's say you find Shay and Fall. Shay's having a cigarette and Fall is...
The cold air is going in and out, and he seems to be like loosening in posture and drinking it in.
I want to try to freak out Shay enough that he goes away, at least to have a cigarette together with Fall alone.
So what do you do?
So pull the cigarette out of his hand and push it to the ground and say, this is a bad thing to smoke. And I put my own cigarettes out, which are black cigarettes. They're completely black. So these are much better to smoke if you can handle them. And I stare at Shay.
Roll shut someone down.
It's a 9.
You come across poorly. I'm going to give you a condition.
Yeah, I deserve it.
The condition's in quotes, and the condition, he just looks at you and goes, "Really, bitch?" And then he like turns around and then just leaves. That's your quote. That's your condition.
So like he knows what Julia's doing.
He knows that Julia's just being like I think he thinks like Julia's like being way too over the top here with her behavior, right? So
right. Yeah, with my flouncy dress and the fake boots and everything. It's just like,
is it like combat boots or?
Yes, yeah, with steel caps in the front, and then at the same time this very feminine kind of dress.
He says, "Fall, he's like, I'll come by your house and get you for the party, okay?"
Yeah.
Great.
Then he leaves.
Hey, Fall. You want to have one of these good cigarettes?
I don't smoke. If my parents smelled that on me, they would just... I don't know what they would do.
Well, your parents smell all kind of things on you.
Yeah, but not cigarettes.
And then I get one of my tissues out and... quickly, before you can react, I get your current smell because it's quite intense and I somehow like it. Or do I just pretend? I don't know. What I want from you, I want you to enter one of my bargains, which is this special move where would I put smoke in your face, we could enter a very nice little bargain and talk around this a little bit.
So you like kind of sensually blow the smoke in my face, that kind of thing?
And that enters the move, yes. Cool. If you are willing to enter this bargain. Are you fine with that?
Sure. Yeah, let's see where it goes.
Think about it for a minute. I'm going to cut away, and we'll come back.
Yes. Take a deep breath in.
Adam and Addie, let's have that scene. Frame it up right where you guys left.
Yeah. changes a little bit. Like the reptilian part of her brain kicks in. She looks at him up and down, again with that sort of snakish eyeing you up, trying to see if she can fit you in her mouth. Brush some of your taustal tear out of the way. I mean, are you really okay? Like, you look like you need a breather. Or a hug?
Is that a weaponized hug? Are you rolling turn someone on here?
Yeah. This is like business and business friends in her family.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Turn someone on. Which is, I think that's an 11.
Nice. You get a string. And then you have to choose one from the list, Adam. And then do you want to pull that string like immediately to make Adam do something or try to get him to do something?
I guess I'll see how Adam reacts first.
Okay, sure. Yeah.
I guess I hesitate for a moment and then I go in for the hug.
Wrap her arms around you, maybe like a little bit too tight.
Like an anaconda, right? Or a python.
Yeah, it's kind of a.
And then she'll pull back and be like, maybe we could like talk about this like later. Like maybe you and I could. Maybe you want to come to Chad's thing with me. I heard Chad's got a thing on. You could come with me.
Sure. I'm there.
Or I guess you didn't have to spend the string. You just did.
I was going to if I had to, but it's so cool.
Awesome. Zakoronas. This sort of pall of deadness that hangs over you like a thick cloak presses out toward the window, pushes back the light, creates this grayness, like the movie Pleasantville almost, right? The color just kind of drains out in your mind's eye. Like your consciousness is like expanding out your body, past the desk, out the window, past the street, past the buildings, into the tree line, into the woods that surround Mercy Falls. And you find yourself weaving in and out between the trees like a snake, but moving really, really fast. And you are just pressing forward through the forest into parts of the forest that don't even seem real. Like you feel like fundamentally they don't even belong. You don't know why. And you get to a space that is very, very old, a part of the forest that is impossibly old. As you get there, as your consciousness sort of like stretches into this space in this part of the forest, how do you know it's so old? Like, what do you see? What do you feel that lets you know that this is like something terribly ancient?
I think it's like looking at all that kind of like detritus on the forest floor, right? You can tell that there isn't even dirt, right? There's just like layers of rotting leaves, and you can kind of like feel it melding over full foot, layer after layer after layer, and finally it turns into dirt somewhere way down there. It's just been collecting for feels like centuries.
Stretching out in front of you, gaping wide like a mouth. Snake's mouth. Inky black. There's a hole in the ground, a cave. And that blackness, it overpowers your your darkness and subsumes you. And so you just find yourself in this vast inky black space, a little bit like 11 in Stranger Things, right? This inky blackness where all you hear is just your heartbeat, whatever qualifies as your heart, right? And you hear this sound that sounds like it's about 100 paces away. It's a sort of like and then it gets a little closer. And then a little closer and louder. And whatever it is, you can feel its breath like right on the tip of your nose. You snap out of it.
I like to think at this point I'm like on the ground, my knees are to my chest, like I'm holding my hands on my ears, and just like tears streaming down my face. I think there's a part of me that wants to feel this again, you know, even though it's kind of like when you know there's something that'll make you cry, but you want to feel it, you know?
Mhm.
Like I want to feel that fear again, even though it's not that it'll make me happy. I mean, I'm going to be scared shitless, but I want to feel it. That's part of my problem. It's like I'm not feeling other emotions. Like I'm enjoying the fear, and when I'm not feeling the fear, you know, from somebody else or from myself, then I'm not feeling anything.
I know what your problem is, yes. And I would be willing to
I
feed
bet
you.
you do.
I would be so willing to feed you. So why do you look for other sources? Sources which could endanger us all. I think you're a troublemaker. And you should be very careful about if you one day have to pay the price. Come to me and feed from me.
Let's do our bargain. So, how's that scene go? How's it progress?
I like the idea of Julia taking all of my strings on Adam. And the way that I get entranced to do this is I like the idea of Julia knowing that I somehow have this fascination with the Force. And maybe like as I'm not really interested in Julia, you have a capsule of the forest and you release it, and then I breathe it in, and it's like I'm in the forest, and it's like I'm running and I'm doing like parkour and I'm free in the forest, right? I like the juxtaposition of me feeling like I'm free while you're stripping those strings from me for Adam, right? I guess what that looks like visually is me telling you the things that I know about Adam without even realizing it, because I'm in this trance, right?
I have been in this trance before, and what you have to recognize is it's all black and white, which must hurt for somebody who loves the forest so much as you do. But this is not the forest, but that's just one dimension of the forest. It's the smell I have with me. I'm on your back while you're running through the forest. As long as we're in this trance together, I'm not too heavy, but I'm sitting on your back, and I'm enjoying seeing the world from your position. I'm enjoying to feel the power which lies in your body, and I enjoy especially feeling how much power you have over Adam, my treasure. I think you are very generous, and I think you can have your smell, and I get the 4 strings. That sounds like a good deal for me.
Yeah.
That's a pretty good deal.
Yeah, so I get the capsule, right? And then for the 4 strings, what I tell you is that Adam tells lies, I believe was one of them, 2 of them. And the other 2 was tell that Adam picked up on what other people were doing and ridiculed me in that way. Like it was a thing that he was doing because other people were doing it.
A little bit of power over him because of Musk too, though, right? Like that.
Oh yeah.
So I also take a capsule of that musk.
a little bit of Musk to go. Good.
I have my little fall with me every time from now on.
Nice. Good. Okay, well, let's just figure out where we go from here then. Assuming that you're going to wait for Coach DeVry to come back and say what's going on or whatever. That never happens. You guys, you wander to the cafeteria at some point, get your lunch. Bag lunches set out for you there because there's nobody else around. Doesn't seem like Coach DeVry is coming back. I'll just ask each of you going around the table, just find out, Adam, what do you want to do? Coach DeVry's not coming back.
I'm not a good first person to ask because I will.
That's a good point. I know. Yeah. Well, that's why I asked, though. So, how do you feel about this?
Yeah, I didn't get why he left, but he's kind of an asshole. I thought I was on drugs. I could just leave, probably. Maybe I'll stop by the chemistry lab and get a bottle of ether. And I will do that because if people already assume I'm taking drugs, why not bring something to the party?
Exactly. Addie, what about you?
Adeline would love to have lunch with Julia or track down Julia and have a chat with Julia.
I think that's a great idea. Julia, are you cool with that?
Love talking with snake people.
So Zach's overheard that people are going to Chad's thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I think, again, Zach is feeling like there isn't anything without the fear. Like the fear is what's driving everything that Zach's enjoying, whether it's making them feel scared or emotions like desire or whatever. And so I think Zach's just going to be like totally mellow and on their own and eat and just sit down and stare into the distance and just plan to go to Chad's party, even though nobody's invited them, nobody's, just show up. Scares them too, because, it's a party and they're like 4 awkward people.
In one. Fall, what do you do for the rest of the day?
I don't know. I'm kind of debating on if he would be like the goody two shoes that would call his parents, right? And like rat out DeVry and be like, yo, we're just sitting here alone.
Right.
And I think he would, especially because he knows that the sooner he goes home, the sooner he's in his forest, right?
Let's have that conversation. Your mom picks up. She's like, hello?
Hey, Mom,
Honey, what's going on? Are you having a good time at detention?
No, detention's weird because like only a little while in, like an hour in or something, DeVry got a phone call.
Oh yeah.
And I don't say that it's from his wife, even though I know that because I should know that. Yeah, he like left. He said he would be back in 30 minutes, and it's been like an hour or whatever, and he's still not home.
It's actually been like probably 3 hours at this point. Yeah.
It's been 3 hours, and he's still not in the classroom, so we don't know what to do.
So he just left you there by yourself?
Yeah.
Oh gosh.
Yeah,
I hope nothing serious is going on.
Maybe you could come pick us up if we're. I think detention might be over.
Yeah. I'm. Yes, it is definitely over. This is unacceptable. Just to leave you kids like that by yourselves. Anything could happen. I'll be there. I'll be there in about 20 minutes, hon.
Okay. Can Shay come over too?
Oh yeah, sure. How is Shay?
Shay's great. It was really good spending some time with him today.
Well, it's too bad that it took detention to do it, but the Lord works in mysterious ways. So
yeah, he gets like all quiet voice and he's like, I think we're back to being good friends.
He's like, oh, she says, honey, that's so good. I'm so happy to hear that. She's like, I'll be there in 20 minutes.
Awesome.
And let's have our little lunch scene with Julia and Adeline. Where do you guys eat?
I would love to eat lizards, but people don't eat lizards here.
Where in the school though? Do you eat like just there in the central room where everybody's at, or do you go somewhere private or what?
Your choice.
Yeah, I would like to take you somewhere quiet so we can have a chat.
The multimedia club room.
That sounds good, yeah.
So you're like in the dark AV room, like just
just having lunch.
I like to say it's like that, like when you're developing film, like that red light room, like where film is being developed. It's that kind of thing.
Yes.
Exactly what I was thinking of. Yeah.
It does acetone smell to it. And you can tell Adeline's like is kind of agreeing with you for the sake of agreeing. He thinks it smells kind of terrible, actually.
I don't recognize.
Hey, so Adam's like kind of going with me to Chad's.
Yes.
But I mean, I kind of get the feeling that you kind of like him too. And I think like you can tell Adeline's just snapped and it's like this completely other Adeline's like talking a lot more confidently and a lot more closely to you. She even leans like a little bit closer and she says, fine, if you went with him. I mean, I could talk to him. I kind of need something from you in exchange.
I'm very open to exchanges. I swallow hard on the noodle I'm eating.
She tucks a lock of hair behind her ear and like bats her lashes at you a little bit and says, a bit weird, but
it is.
I would really love a lock of your hair.
What?
Point of order. You need great big handfuls of it for Aunt Evelyn.
Oh, okay.
Like a haircut level.
Excellent.
Oh, and I already have short hair. I dyed it black. Maybe it's time for another color when I grow it back. But wait, what are we talking about? You want my hair?
I know that does sound kind of strange, but I agree. I think that look would look really good on you.
What do you want with my hair?
That's the secret that you're gonna have to find out.
What's in for me?
I can hook you up with Adam. He's special to you.
Yes. What about first hooking up and then you get my hair?
Well, we have some spare time now. I mean, we could just go into like the girls' bathroom and
I think you should put something more on it
yeah.
to get it now. What else do you have to offer?
I'll make sure that he'll be yours for a long time.
All right. Let's do it.
Indeed, indeed.
I trust you because you're adolescent and we have spent a lot of time together ignoring each other
I feel like you and I are very similar.
in many dimensions. And then get the last
So
noodles
you're
in.
going to go to the bathroom? Are you going to the girls' room to shave her hair right now? Is that what's going on?
I think so, yeah.
I think, why don't we do it directly here? Nobody will come in here.
Do we want to suggest this is intimate enough to trigger sex moves here? Maybe
I'm fine
For
with
me,
that.
it is.
Yeah. Okay. Let's do it.
Yeah.
Read through your sex moves. I'll cut back to it in a minute. Adam, you just left. Where'd you go?
Yeah. Like I said, I'm going to the chemistry room and finding a bottle of ether, and then I think I go back to Zach.
I think it's like just Zach, Fall, and Shay are maybe like off talking about what would they have been talking about in '83? Garbage Pail Kids or something? I don't know. Whatever was going on then, and probably just Zach, like sitting there waiting for the day to be over. Have that scene.
So I'm just standing there awkward for just a little too long before walking over to Zach's table and then kind of sitting down. Hey.
I think Zach's just doodling, right? Like just drawing on paper.
Oh my God, can we say you're drawing a spiral? That'd be so great.
Oh, yes. Spirals.
Why do you have to be such a creepy asshole to everyone all the time?
I look up to you with a little bit of shock, almost like, what did I do?
Like, I mean, Robbie, his friends died in a car accident, and you're doing this whole car noise thing? I mean, why?
I mean, he's kind of a dick, right?
Yeah, sure, he might be, but what are you getting out of this?
I just want him to feel what the rest of us feel. You should understand that, right?
Sure, but, if you wouldn't be so weird all the time, people wouldn't be assholes to you. Like, I get along with a lot of people just by, not sticking out. Like,
people are assholes because they're assholes. I didn't draw that in. That's just who they are. So sometimes you have to show them how it is. That's all. I didn't invite that. Back before, Zed didn't invite that. Akuji didn't invite that. Sharona didn't invite that. And Silas didn't invite that. It's not my fault.
It's not your fault, but you can't pretend.
I'm going to start laughing out loud. I'm like, what? I can't pretend? I'm like pointing it at Adam.
Yeah, I'm
He's
saying
always pretending.
Yeah. I'm saying you can. You could just put in some effort.
And just what? Just act like they act? Is that how it's done?
Yeah, that's how people work.
Pushing on your drug fiend condition a little bit, in the sense that in that room being accused of being a drug fiend, I think that's when you're probably going to notice Zach drawing the spiral on his notebook, and you're going to have some little flashbacks from like your time with Stag Face Mask Guy. Give me a keeper call.
I love that idea. Like this whole conversation is going on, and then there's just like that looking down and seeing spirals. That's great.
Yeah.
Okay.
What are you afraid will happen once you see that?
Kind of afraid that Zach is in on the whatever creepy spiral stuff is going on. Like
right,
a secret thing that people are doing. I'm not involved in.
I heard my favorite word, afraid.
It's a force, so conditions don't matter.
Mark another XP. You'll probably have some suspicions of Zach. I think as soon as you're like seeing this and you're having this moment like this, like what the fuck is going on? You hear a scream coming from somewhere deeper in the building. A loud scream of a young man. What do you do?
What? Did you hear that?
Yeah, you definitely both heard it.
I hear it, but I'm still like, I'm noticing that Adam's looking at the paper now and kind of freaking out. And so I'm being a little bit more deliberate, but continuing to draw my spiral.
Yo, Zach, come, someone might be hurt.
Every time he's hesitating, I kind of draw more of the spiral.
Yeah, that's the worst scale of Hangman.
But I finish it. I finish that spiral and drop the pencil, and I get up. I'll follow Adam wherever he goes.
Yep.
Everyone would have heard the scream. Fall, Addie, Julia, you all heard the scream. Let's take care of sex moves first, and then we'll deal with that. So, Julia, what's your sex move?
My sex move is that after sex, ask what they'd like and promise you'll get it for them. Gain 2 strings on them. So what do you like, Adeline? And I promise you, I will get it for you.
Is your hair too obvious?
Maybe something more, right? Like
this all became pretty passionate. So at least for me, maybe it's because the room is hot, but I'm sweating a lot now. Just to
I promise you, it's not just the heat. Maybe I would like you to promise me that this will just stay between the two of us.
It for sure will. We are family. Whenever somebody will find out, then I will take measures necessary to keep it still a secret. It's not that easy as it sounds.
Yeah, it's good.
I will take care of family business from now on. Don't worry. Right?
Yeah, it's a total one of us moment. Yeah, it's good. What is your sex move, Addie?
If your family learns that you've had sex with someone, that person becomes part of your family's failing dynasty. If they're a main character, they add the move to their sheet. So we are family.
Well, but it's only when they learn of this, though.
Yes,
true.
yeah.
Right, yeah. They may. Good. And then you hear the scream. What do you do when you hear the scream?
Get my clothes off, on again, not off. On again and rush down, right?
Awesome. Fall, you hear the scream. What do you do?
I would look towards the noise, and if Shay was around, look at him to see what he does, and probably run towards it.
Yeah, Shay will run toward it, yeah.
Especially since we're rangers.
Yeah. And Zach, it sounded like you and Adam were going to go check it out, right?
I'll be very casual about it, but I'll grab Adam's hand and kind of lead him that direction, unless he's going faster than me.
No, but I'm surprised by that gesture. But yeah, I'm not pulling my hand away. I'm holding yours and I'm following.
So you all hear the scream, and in your own ways, you all are going to where you heard the scream. This man. You all kind of converge, coming from your different directions, right? You all kind of converge on this big empty school hallway with lockers on either side, right? And because it's the weekend, all the lights are off, right? There's just a couple of illuminated exit signs, right? And maybe just a little bit of ambient light coming in from a distant window. But otherwise, the corridor is just very dim. And you're all together. And you're all kind of making your way in the direction that you heard the scream come from. And you begin to feel something slippery and slick beneath your feet, beneath your tennis shoes. And you look down to realize that there is a trail of blood coming from underneath the boys' bathroom door. And assuming that you press forward, and you open the bathroom door, you see Robbie laying out on the floor of the boys' bathroom door. He's very tall, so he actually takes up most of the space. He's there. His shirt is removed. He's not moving. He's laying in a pool of his own blood, and he has a deep, deep gouged spiral in his chest, cut really deep, just bleeding out. Hi, listeners. This is Jason. If you are enjoying Mercy Falls 83, please consider supporting the Gauntlet on Patreon. There are a lot of costs associated with producing Pocket Size Play, from editing, hosting fees, music licenses, and more. Your Patreon pledge helps pay for all of that stuff and indeed encourages us to create more Pocket Size Play. As a bonus, if you pledge $2 or more, you also get early access to Pocket Size Play episodes, which is pretty cool. So go to patreon.com/gauntlet and support the show today. Thanks.